And turning colder this evening across central Alabama. Look at that local forecast here in just a few minutes.
And the 2024 Transportation Summit took place today in Tuscaloosa. They discussed some of the key issues affecting the region. And as Breast Cancer Awareness Month continues, DCH and the University of Alabama are teaming up to lift the spirits of cancer patients. WVUA 23 News starts right now.
This is WVUA 23 News.
And we're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Jabari Pruitt. We begin tonight with a look ahead at tonight's Tuscaloosa City Council meeting. They plan to hold a public hearing for the proposed Sports Illustrated Resort development. WVUA 23's Jalen Barron joins us live tonight from the newsroom with more. Jalen, good evening.
Good evening, Jabari. The residents of District 3 and the community at large will have the chance to express their opinions and thoughts on the proposed resort. Last week, District 3 Councilman Norman Crow hosted a community meeting for residents to share their concerns to be discussed throughout the week leading up to the hearing. But tonight, all of the city council members will voice their thoughts and questions to the developers of the property. And the community will also be able to ask questions. Council will be voting on the voting on the resort tonight. The hearing for comments and a Q&A session for the development will take place at 6. We will be there and have a complete report coming up at 10. Live in the newsroom, Jalen Barron, WVUA 23 News.
Jalen, thank you. We're turning our attention now to the weather. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is here to tell us about these cooler temperatures, if they're going to stick around. Richard, good evening.
Hey, Jabbar, good evening to you. Pretty cool out there for north and central Alabama. We got 67 in Birmingham, Jasper 66. Now, Tuscaloosa and South still got those low 70s, but after sunset, it gets cold in a hurry. We've got a cold front moving in from North Alabama and from Tennessee. Here's a look at that forecast tonight. 51 at 10. 46 at 1 a.m. Could see some 30s in some of those cooler locations. Don't forget also the comet visible A3 tonight between 6:50 and 7:15. Look to the west, look for Venus, you can't miss it, and then look to the right of that and you'll see the comet. Going to be faintly visible tonight, but on your camera you could pick it up pretty nicely once again tonight. More on your local forecast here in just a few minutes. Jabari?
Richard, thank you. With the DCH Cancer Center had some special guests today. The UA women's volleyball team toured the Lewis and Faye Manderson Cancer Center. They signed autographs and brought smiles to the patients. Players and coaches visited with the patients and took pictures and encouraged patients to come to some of their matches. Now, they also showed appreciation for the inspiration the patients provide.
I think for us, it's seeing all these people fighting their own battle and knowing that they are going through something hard, and what we are going through every day in practice is hard, but it's a different type of hard for sure. And to know if they can do it and put in all this work and they love to see us play, we should play for them.
It meant so much. It shows that even though they're advertised for themselves, that they actually care about breast cancer and people getting the right treatment.
Now, this tour is part of the partnership between DCH and the University of Alabama in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Well, Shelton State Community College has entered an agreement with Honda Manufacturing to become a regional training center for the Honda dealership network. The new Honda Pact program will offer state-of-the-art automotive technician training that will enable students to become Honda and Acura certified technicians. Now, graduates will gain classroom knowledge, hands-on training, and work experience. Now, for more information about this program, visit hondapac.com. Well, the Alabama Automotive Manufacturing Association and the Alabama Community College System have partnered to offer $400,000 in scholarships to those entering the automotive manufacturing field. Now, students who are enrolled in an automotive manufacturing program could qualify for an individual $4,000 scholarship. The funds will cover the cost of tuition, books, and any fees associated with the program. Applications can be filled directly through the Dream It, Do It website at dreamitdoitalabama.com. The deadline to apply is November 4th. Well, the Tuscaloosa City Schools has issued its first request for charter school proposals after being recently approved as a charter authorizer. A formal written notice of intent to apply for all interested parties is due by November 8th. The deadline for submitting a mandatory hard copy application is November 22nd. For more information on the application process or questions about this program, contact Dr. Andrew Maxey at 205-759-3512, and you can visit the TCS website for more information. Well, the Chamber of Commerce of West Alabama hosted its annual Transportation Summit today. The summit included community leaders and local and state and federal officials to discuss transportation issues affecting the Tuscaloosa area. Now, there were also several guest speakers to give updates on current and upcoming projects in our community.
Again, that's what this is about, is helping the community understand the needs that are there and how those needs are being addressed. And the chamber plays a small role in that, but just bringing everybody together to get more educated on the progress that's being made throughout the community.
Now, Mayor Maddox and other city leaders believe the summit is a great way to update the community on Tuscaloosa's growth. In Pickens County, the Alabama Department of Transportation started the last phase of the Gardo bypass today. Now, workers started putting up construction signs and cranes began clearing some of the area, and more trucks began moving into the area. This project will realign U.S. Highway 82 from the northwest city limits of Gardo to just east of Tuscaloosa County line. Gardo residents are excited this project will finally be finished.
That would help a lot of people tremendously, trying to cut back time to get down Tuscaloosa to be able to get to hospitals or even grocery stores, because we're kind of limited down here with grocery stores and, other things like that.
This project will allow 18-wheelers to travel around Gardo rather than through the town. Construction is expected to take up to 2 years to complete. Well, Pickens County drivers could soon pay a little more for their car tax. The extra money would go towards funding the Pickens County ambulance service. This would be to sustain one additional ambulance for 16 hours per day each day of the week. Now, earlier in the year, Representative Ron Bolton met with the municipalities in Pickens County, and each have agreed to pay their portion of this $330,000 yearly cost to keep this service available. Bolton says there could be a potential referendum vote for residents that would require a $15 fee for new tax. Now, Bolton says each municipality in Pickens County will have public input from residents about a potential vote. Well, applications are open for the annual Tuscaloosa Toys for Tots holiday program. Applications will be accepted until all slots are filled. Sponsors are asked to complete an application, use their real name, a valid email address, and a working phone number. Visit Tuscaloosa-al.toysfortots.org to apply. Well, Walgreens announced it was closing almost 1,200 locations, including 500 over the next year. The closures represent a steep increase from the 300 that Walgreens first announced in June. This is part of Walgreens' multi-year optimization program, where the financially struggling drugstore is shutting down its underperforming locations. The 1,200 closures will provide the 300 that were announced earlier this year. No word yet on whether any of those stores scheduled are closed in Alabama. Well, coming up, recent severe weather has some homeowners and renters looking to update their property insurance. We'll tell you why. And we're 3 weeks away from the presidential election. How are the presidential candidates trying to pull new voters? We'll tell you in just a moment. And property losses are adding up in the wake of Hurricanes Helene and Milton. Entire regions across 6 states were completely wiped out. Analysts put the number of insured losses in the tens of billions of dollars, and uninsured losses could tally billions more. Now, these severe weather events may serve as a policy wake-up call when it comes to flood insurance.
Your standard property insurance policy does not cover flood. That's why you need to have separate coverage. And that's true nationally. If it rains at your home, it could flood at your home. Nobody is immune to flooding in the United States.
Now, Freilander also asks, if you live in a non-coastal area, the cost of flood insurance is likely to be reasonable. And the Alabama Department of Public Health has deployed a 9-person all-volunteer support team to provide assistance in North Carolina following Hurricane Helene. The team of public health professionals include 8 nurses and 1 safety officer who will stay for 14 days supporting efforts in mass care shelters. Now, they will also provide public health and nursing services and other assistance as needed. Well, it's 3 weeks until Election Day and crunch time for the presidential campaigns, looking for new ways to sway voters. Karen Kafa has the latest from the campaign trail.
Vice President Kamala Harris sharpening her attacks on former President Donald Trump's capacity for another term in the White House.
Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged.
As Democrats grow more fretful about the state of the race, which most national polls see as deadlocked, Harris in the battleground state of Pennsylvania Monday night stepped up the urgency in her message, warning of the extremism of a second Trump term.
He's talking about that he considers anyone who doesn't support him or who will not bend to his will an enemy of our country.
Trump was also in Pennsylvania for a town hall Monday night where he stayed on stage and swayed to music after rapping questions.
Play YMCA. Go ahead. Let's go. Nice and loud.
During the event, Trump took his own aim at Harris's capacity for the job.
Well, we have to beat her. Look, we
do.
have to beat her. She's not for this job. Everybody knows it.
Harris has also chided Trump in recent days for not releasing medical records after releasing a letter from her physician Saturday, tying it to a lack of transparency on Trump's part.
Are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable?
Trump has responded multiple times on his social media platform Truth Social, including calling on Monday for Harris to take a cognitive test and falsely claiming he's released more medical records than any president in history. Trump last released a letter from his doctor in November 2023, but it did not include the types of medical tests Trump took or the results. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And early voters lined up to cast their votes for the 2024 presidential election in critical battleground state of Georgia. This year, voting will be different in the Peach State as election rules have tightened with reduction in drop box numbers and availability. Instead, they will only be present in election offices and early vote locations and have hours that mimic normal business hours. Early voting continues for Georgia through November 1st.
And our local weather is dry, turning cooler this evening. Got to look at those numbers after the break. Stay with us. Here my forecast every day on Tuscaloosa's True Oldies channel, 102.1 FM, WJRD. And it has a pretty nice sky views this evening, and over the past several evenings across our area. This is the Comet A3, and these pictures taken from all over the region, including down towards the Gulf Coast. And what a awesome view of that. It is faintly visible to the naked eye, but again, it is more visible to better cameras. Let's go over to the maps and let's talk about this thing. Again, this is Comet A3, and we see this between 6:50 in the evening, around 7:15, so after sunset. Look for Venus. You'll see Venus shining brightly towards the west, or just after sunset. Look to the right of Venus, and again, you'll see that faintly visible Comet A3 there, and again, that will be visible for the next few nights, then gradually fading away. Here's a look from Demopolis in North Marengo County, 73 degrees out the door now, looking off towards the south, back towards Linden. From downtown Demopolis, wind out of the north and northwest, and from Bryant-Denny and Tuscaloosa, currently at 70. Feels so good outside right now, but it turns colder tonight. Again, that wind out of the north around 10 miles per hour, topped out 72 today. And look at Doppler radar. Things are nice and quiet. No rain out there, but it is warmer to the south, much cooler to the north. 74 in Linden. We got 62 in Haydenville, 66 in Jasper there. And again, everybody will drop off quickly tonight. Here's a look at the numbers. I think around 61 at 7. Notice that fast drop off. And then 51 at 10, 46 at 1 a.m., 41 for the low tonight. Here in Tuscaloosa, Jasper 39, Haydenville 39, and Demopolis and North Marengo around 41 or so tomorrow morning. Cold start to our Wednesday. Up to 60 by lunchtime and only 64 by mid-afternoon. It's going to be the coolest day so far this season. Now, mid-60s not so bad, but the wind is going to make it feel a bit cooler tomorrow. No rain coming up anytime soon. In fact, the next 7 days across central and west Alabama looking all dry. Temperatures, you can tell where that cold front is now across North Alabama. Look at Nashville, 55 there. Bristol at 49, Cleveland 49, Ely at 45. The cool air is coming southward. Here's a look at the numbers, 64 for tomorrow, the afternoon high there. We got 68 on Thursday, and then a gradual warm up over the weekend. 70s returning, but still quite chilly every night. 39 for Thursday morning, Friday morning 41, and low 40s over the weekend. So let's look at the frost potential out there. Tomorrow morning, don't think we'll see any frost in our local area, but let's go into Thursday morning. There may be some cooler pockets, see some patchy frost across the region, so keep that in mind. I think any frost will be fairly limited across our local region. So here's that 7 day. We've got lots of sunshine. We got mid-60s tomorrow, upper 60s on Thursday, and then the 70s returning over the weekend, Saturday, as well as on Sunday, and then upper 70s next week. But look at the cool overnight temperatures. We got 40s, upper 30s out there. So Jabari, quiet and air mass change. But if you were to say what should fall feel like, that 7 day planner is pretty much it. So we don't have any very warm weather coming up anytime soon. If anything, maybe some upper 70s late in the weekend.
And I saw the 40 degree temperatures. We talked about it yesterday. I woke up this morning, we had chilly.
It was cool this morning. I'll tell you that. The house was a little bit cooler. But of course, Gary, he likes that kind of weather. He's going to love that fall forecast.
Gary?
Absolutely. I loved it this morning, man. It feels great out there. And coming up, it's football weather, and Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe is all business this week as the Tide gets ready to go to Tennessee. And the Browns have traded former Alabama wide receiver Amari Cooper. We'll tell you where in an Alabama in the NFL update coming up next in sports.
I'm gonna be honest. Growing up, because my dad played at Auburn, so it had to be the Iron Bowl first, and then it was Tennessee. Then with Georgia playing good these last couple of years. And
Alabama freshman wide receiver Ryan Williams on how he would rank the Crimson Tide's top rivalry games. Good evening, I'm Gary Harris. Make sure and join Rodney Orr and me for Tider Insider TV tonight at 6:30 on WVUA 23. Well, Alabama is in full preparation mode for the game that is number 2 on Williams' list, Tennessee. The Crimson Tide and the Volunteers will face off this Saturday afternoon in Knoxville shortly after 2:30 Central Time on ABC inside Neyland Stadium. Practice today, there's Ryan Williams right there. Now, he has been so dynamic, but South Carolina did a good job on him. They're the first team really to shut him down. Of course, that does open up things for other people. Quarterback Jalen Milroe, when you run the ball as often as he does, you got to go through those ball security drills just like the running backs do. There's Jam Miller right there. On defense, Malachi Moore, it's been certainly a up and down season for the fifth-year senior. There is Justice Haynes catching the ball and also, having to work on holding on to it. Milroe, even right here in this drill, watch his face. You can just, he was low-key after the game against South Carolina. Normally laughing, smiling. He's all business this week. He understands what's on tap for the Tide, and he wants the team to feel confident going in.
I feel pretty confident. We have a lot of guys in the locker room that acknowledge the rivalry, acknowledge, what it takes to win, acknowledge, all the hard work that needs to be done during the week so that we can put our best foot forward when it comes to this Saturday. Definitely a great week to be prepared, understand our assignment, and just have a lot of fun, because this is going to be a lot of fun, playing in games like this, especially for all of us. So it's all about locking in today and being our best version of ourselves.
Well, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer and Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel have a unique connection. Both are from South Dakota. Well, that's a state that, of course, isn't known for football, but these two have made it all the way to the top.
Yeah, Kalen's just not a lot of us from South Dakota, but anyways, knew of him when I was younger, and through his coaching career, he's just somebody that have stayed in contact with at times, and got great respect for him and what he's done throughout his career and how he handles himself.
Alabama in the NFL update now. The Buffalo Bills acquired Amari Cooper in a trade today with the Cleveland Browns, adding a true #1 wide receiver for star quarterback Josh Allen. The Bills received Coop and a 2025 6th-round draft pick for a 2025 3rd-round pick and a 7th-round selection in 2026. The 30-year-old Cooper fills the #1 receiver void for the Bills that was opened up when Buffalo traded Stephon Diggs to the Houston Texans before the season. The Bills completed the deal hours after their AFC East rivals, the New York Jets, who they beat last night, made their own blockbuster trade for a wide receiver when they acquired Devontae Adams from the Las Vegas Raiders. So both those AFC East teams trying to get better at wide receiver. Happy for Coop. Jabbar, this is a chance to go from a team that's mired in losing and not going anywhere this year to a championship contender. Also, SEC Men's Media Day over at Mountain Brook today. Full report on Alabama coming up tonight at 10.
All right, Gary Harris, thank you so much. Stick around. We're coming right back. And 2 giant pandas from China has arrived in Washington, D.C. on Monday. Now, their new home is the Smithsonian National Zoo. The facility was closed to visitors Monday so the 3-year-old pandas could settle into their new home. The pandas are on loan to the zoo for the next 10 years. The National Zoo has a panda exhibit already and now is freshly remodeled and ready for its new guests. So, welcome home, I guess.
That's pretty cool.
All right, final weather. I mean, final sports.
Well, getting ready for Tighter Insider tonight at 6:30, previewing the Tennessee game. It's the third Saturday in October, and we're ready for it.
All right.
Bring it on. Nice weather for that. Really nice football weather this week. We got temperatures in the 60s tomorrow, the coolest day of the season so far. In fact, some 30s could be fairly widespread for a Wednesday night. Into Thursday morning, then bright sunshine for the weekend. 70s return, but still pretty cool at night this weekend, low mid-40s.
All right, thank you. That's it for us. Have a great evening.
See you.